Sketch together. Hey, hello guys. On this session, I'm going to teach you really quickly how to create a really nice trick that I learned today. And we're going to learn how to create a loading animation when you scroll down on an app, something like this. So I created this and I realized that it's a really easy thing to do on Flinto. So we're going to need 4 screens and it's going to be super easy. So let's go ahead and do that. And we're going to start from scratch, but we're going to design something like this on Sketch. So if you are already familiar with Sketch and you only want to see how to do this with Flinto, skip this part because we're going to do all of this from scratch. So as you can see, we're going to have a header, we're going to have our icon, background, content, and a button. That's all we're gonna need. So let's go ahead and start from scratch. So the first thing that I will do is I downloaded the iOS core components from Facebook for on Sketch, and I'm going to copy this thing, the navbar. So I'm going to copy one of their navbars. Oops, it's a little bit. There you go. I'm going to copy that one, and I'm going to create a new document, and I'm going to create an artboard of an iPhone 6, and I'm gonna paste this over here, this little guy, and actually I'm going to make it dark, so I need a different status bar. So I'm going to delete this status bar. I'm going to turn this to a different color. I'm going to remove this label. I'm going to turn these labels to white and this one to white too. And then I'm going from the Facebook iOS components, I'm going to copy this other navbar, the status bar, sorry, the light one. So over here, I pasted it, put it in the middle and all the way to the top. And now we have our header or navbar navigation. Okay, that's pretty cool. Let's change this to Jesus. And this one is options. And this one is just a back button. Let's keep it there. And obviously this is, instead of Facebook, is ST for Sketch Together. There you go. Okay, cool. The first thing that I want to create is one article. So let's go ahead and see how it is, the design. So it is just a circle, title, and a subtitle. And let's go ahead and do that really quickly. I create a circle, an oval, include it, and I'm going to put it 96 pixels from there. And then I'm going to be 32 pixels from the left, and probably 20 pixels from the top margin, from the top padding. So then title, so it should be dark. There you go, and I'm going to use 34 for the title, and I'm going to use SF UI display for it. I'm going to make it bold. And for the subtitle, I'm going to use SF UI text, and I'm going to make it 28. This is subtitle. Subtitle, I'm going to change the color just to a lighter color, and instead of bold, I'm going to make it regular. There you go. And I'm going to, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, and now we have 0 padding between them. To group these two, center them, that's about right. And probably padding here should be 22. And there you go. And now let's add a divider. Really quickly, a rectangle that goes all the way to the right, but starts on the same left align to this, and it's going to be 2 pixels height. That color is okay, I think. Let's make it sorry. Let's move it a little bit. 20 pixels separation from that, and there you go. We have our first article on our feed that we're creating that is called Jesus, apparently. It's really weird. So we have this, and now we are going to duplicate it. So really quickly, 20 pixels, and now duplicated 1. So I can start pressing Command D, and it will duplicate all of the rest of the elements super quickly. Boom, 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 all the way to the bottom. And now that we have that, I'm going to actually select all of these circles, pressing Command Shift, and then I'm going to use Crafts from Envision, their plugin to create to insert images. So I go to the photos. I'm going from Unsplash. You can select any of these categories. I'm going to select hipsters, and Let's wait a little bit for the magic to happen, and there you go. Now we have images, hipster images all over the place. This one is a little bit, it's repeated, so I'm going to change this one too, because it's repeated. There you go. We have our hipster images. Now let's change the titles of this to make it more real. Let's go ahead and select Command Shift, all of these. And then instead of photos, we're going to go to type. And then over here, we're going to press headlines, and I'm going to do technology. There you go. And that's not exactly what I wanted. Yeah, I forgot to actually change the... Oh, damn it. Yeah. Okay, what do you want to do? Hopefully you don't make this mistake as me. You want to, first of all, well, not just that. Let's also select this. All these need to be the same width. So let's change the width of all of these to be 360, I think. No. Let's put it 580. It's going to be padding 22. No. There you go, 570. And now let's have 32 padding. There you go. And now all of these, I'm going to go to type, headlines, and again, technology. There you go. Created a mess, as you can see. Let's do it again. Headlines, advertising. Probably these ones will be a little bit shorter. Beauty. Oh, this one looks better. Okay. So here I'm going to, what are the ones that are too long? Just delete the parts that are too long. I'm going to do the same over here, just so it's a little bit cleaner. There you go. Probably here too. All this. Goodbye. This one. Sometimes you use these tools to make your life easier, and sometimes you actually make it a little bit harder. But no, that was actually super quick. Okay, cool. So we have all of our content. Now what we want to do is add a background to this content. And I'm going to go ahead and make a rectangle just around here and around all the way here. Let's actually see. Let's put this rectangle all the way to the back, and let's change the color to white, and you're gonna see why later. The thing is that your content needs a background too, so I'm going to create a background, a huge background. Probably each article could have had its own background, but we can just create a big rectangle for this practice. Okay, so we have it. Now we select all of it and we group it, and then we can change the name of it. Let's change the name to content, and I can go ahead and go back to change this back to 1334. There you go. So that's the content. And now I'm going to add a big button here on the bottom, a floating button. It's going to have a height of 114 and probably all the corner radius as far as it can go. Then I'm going to add a nice color, probably blue. There you go, whatever you want. This is just for practice. So this is just so you know what I do, how I do it. Then I'm going to add a CTA, copy, let's cheese it. There you go, we're even creating our own lingo in our app. There you go, cool, and let's change it to bold. And instead of UI, it's display. We align it to the center. Let's make it a little bit closer, like that. And let's add a shadow so it looks floating. And instead of a blur of 4, let's do blur 20, probably 30. Play around with this. And then change the opacity to 20. There you go. And now we group it and we call it CTA or a button. There you go. And now we need to create our loading icon. So I'm going to actually move this, the content, probably says 104, 110. Let's do 120. I don't know what is the standard size of this loading, but let's say that's 120. If you actually know the what is the pattern to do that, let me know. That would be great. And I'm going to change the color of the background. This is why we added the white background. You're going to see why. Because if we add a color to the background, let's add the same color as this, but let's make it a little bit lighter as the header nav, around there. That's That's where our loading icon is going to appear. So that's why we added this white background to the content. So we can see this thing that is kind of like behind the content, what is going to appear, the loading icon. Okay, so we have that. And now let's actually create our icon. Let's have fun. I'm going to create a robot, a dumb robot. No, a very smart robot. What am I saying? Okay, let's create a rectangle around there. And let's add a corner radius. Let's change the color to white. Let's align it to the center of the image. Let's put it around there. Yeah, it looks good. And then I'm going to double click and I'm going to select these two corners. And that way I'm going to change the corner radius of this. That way these two corners are super rounded, but the bottoms are not. And now it looks like a shape of a very futuristic or more like retro robot. There you go. Now let's add some eyes. Let's have this color, corner radius around there. Zoom in so we can see it nice and big. There you go. Now I'm going to duplicate this and I'm going to actually create a smile. I'm going to select these two and remove the corner radius. And now I'm going to transform it, and now we have our happy smile. And probably these could be 8 pixels wide. There you go. Obviously this is not perfect. Oh, I'm sure you will do something way better than what I'm doing. There you go, something like that. And let's add like some cool ears here behind it. And let's change the color to this color too. Set a corner radius around there. Just put it behind the face. Backwards. There you go. It's a little bit too big. So move it around. Again, this is you can skip all of this. This is probably not what you clicked on my video. Probably you just wanted to see the Flinto part. So go ahead and do that. Skip this if you don't want to see me drawing silly robots. Okay, so, but if you do want to see silly robots, then you're in the right place. Okay, so round to pixel. I'm going to change the height. Oops, sorry. Let's make it a little bit taller. And there you go, around there. Let's change the width of this. Let's align it to the center. I think I'm liking this robot. That's good enough. There you go. Okay, I group it and I'm going to call it robot. And the robot is actually going to be behind everything. So move it in your layers list behind, well, it has to be inside the layer. So there you go. Sorry, inside the artboard. So there you go. It's inside the artboard. This is behind. All this has a name. So we're ready to put this in Flinto. So let's go ahead and actually go into screen. There you go. So now what I'm going to do is export this to Flinto. So let me open this Flinto, and Flinto doesn't have anything. Okay, I'm good. So I'm going to send this to Flinto. I use a plugin from Flinto, and I'm going to. I only have one artboard, so it's okay. What can we do? Yeah, we're good. Export only selected artboard. One thing that you could do is you could probably actually let's actually do it. Screen. Let's have both instances of the loading. So loading. So this one is loading, and this one is not loading. Okay, and the one that is not loading is going to have this guy is going to actually be. Let's scale it down to 40%. Around there. Let's change the opacity to not to 50. There you go. And actually, it's going to be behind the content. I know. So this sounds crazy, but it will make sense once we put it in the animation. The thing is, in Flinto, you actually want to have all the strings of all the instances, even if we're going to move from here to here.